When the BCCI announced the central contracts, Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Iyer were both missing from it. It had to happen, right? Because there was a lot of confusion, lot of conundrums, and in the end, the BCCI were just not happy with it. The main question is, what was the reason? What was the smoking gun, the trigger point by which the BCCI said enough is enough, we are not giving Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan the central contract? The reasons, we have discussed it ad nauseum on many of our shows that yes, these are the reasons. But the selectors who had to make that decision of giving all the players the annual retainer contracts, they played a big role looking at what happened with Shreyas Iyer and looking at what happened with Ishan Kishan. Now you have to remember one thing, Iyer, as far as injuries were concerned, that took a toll. Ishan Kishan wanted a mental break. But now these two factors put together have resulted in something else. And because of that, the BCCI stepped in, and after the diktat that Jai Shah gave, they said it was untenable, you couldn't give them the contracts. So in this video, I will tell you what are the key reasons. So Ishan and Shreyas Iyer miss out on the BCCI central contracts list of 2023-2024. BCCI was not happy with the decision making. What was the decisions that Shreyas Iyer took? What did the decisions Ishan Kishan took after the end of the World Cup? That didn't satisfy them one bit. In the case of Shreyas Iyer, you can argue test match form went against him. ODI form, it was superb. Unavailable for India team, this is the new diktat. Unavailable for India team at a certain period of time, no central contract. That is the brief given. Now many people will say, oh, but a certain player is in A despite not playing test cricket for 5 years. The difference in that is Hardik Pandya. He had made it very clear 5 years ago that he can't play test cricket. His body cannot take the rigors of test cricket. Admitting that and devoting himself to only white ball cricket, that's a different case. But remember, he gets injured. Now that is not Hardik Pandya's fault. Such is his sport, such is the way how he goes about the game. Aggressive cricket can lead to injuries. It's not Hardik's fault. Whether you like it or not, that is the bitter truth. So, unavailable for India team across formats means no central contract. Now, the Iyer and Kishan situation, the timeline is very, very warped. After the end of the World Cup, many players wanted a break. Ishan Kishan was one of them. He was continuously traveling, continuously with the squad. He was asked to do what he wanted to do. And on top of that, whatever position he got to bat, he had to bat. When the others came back, he was left out. The bitter truth about Ishan Kishan is that Kishan has not played since November in that 5-match ODI T20I series in which he played 3 games. After that, he went to South Africa, quit the tour midway, came back, has not played since. Now, he was not ready. The BCCI, Rahul Dravid and all contacted him and said that, are you ready for the India versus England series? But Kishan said no, he wasn't ready, but he's playing the DY Patil tournament. On top of that, Shreyas Iyer, he had a dodgy back, but then the NCA declared him fit. And then after that, he developed back spasms. That's why he did not play in the Mumbai quarter-final game. That happened against Baroda. Because of this, the BCCI said, enough is enough. Ishan not ready for India but willing to play DY Patil. Shreyas Iyer being told to play domestic but didn't play. The BCCI had to draw the line. That is the key reason number 1. Key reason number 2. According to a report in ESPN Cricinfo, the selectors were unhappy with Ishan for training with Hardik Pandya and Baroda during his off time. He is getting ready, but he can't play cricket for this national side. This is the thing that the selectors hung on to, and because of that, Ishan couldn't get a contract. So, selectors were unhappy with Ishan Kishan that during his off time, he was training in the academy with Hardik Pandya, but no India contract. He can't be ready for India. Iyer, now this is the clincher. Shreyas Iyer was in the pre-season KKR camp, but he didn't play for Mumbai in the Ranji Trophy. These two factors, Ishan in the DY Patil tournament, now for scrambling to save his thing, Shreyas Iyer has made himself available to play for Mumbai in the semi-final of the Ranji Trophy. But it's a case of too little too late. You are ready for all these kind of small tournaments, DY Patil and everything, but you're a centrally contracted player, you can't play for India. Same with Iyer. But Iyer's thing is a different kettle of fish altogether because he himself is confused over the status of his injury. Now, what happened in the case of Shreyas Iyer? Iyer experienced back discomfort after second test in Vizag. Now the timeline is NCA passed him fit. But when the press release came that the BCCI said that, okay, no Shreyas Iyer, there was no mention of why he has been left out. Either it's an injury or anything. Normally, if there is an injury, the BCCI gives out in the release. But Shreyas Iyer's name just was not mentioned. No reason was given. That gave an indication that he was dropped. Medical staff at NCA cleared Iyer of any injury, but after that, Mumbai Cricket Association informed him that he's developed back spasms. So that is why he couldn't play in the quarterfinal. Now he is ready to play in the semi-final. This confusion, this conundrum made the selectors very unhappy and they said, okay, we are not giving them the central contract. That's reason number 2. Reason number 3 and the key reason, BCCI's diktat. What Jai Shah had said about a couple of weeks ago, it turned out to be true. He had stated, performance in domestic cricket remains a critical yardstick for selection and non-participation in domestic cricket will carry severe implications. The threat was issued, Jai Shah, the BCCI secretary, issued it, and now it has fallen on the 2 players. You can't just be taking your central contract for granted, and that is why Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan were left out. Key reason number 3, this is the prime reason. Jai Shah gave the diktat, the selectors and the administration had to work upon it, they had to set an example. But Rohit's comments after Ranchi opened this up, and it was imminent that this was going to happen because we will only give chances to the ones who have that hunger. You eventually get to know who doesn't have that hunger to play tests. IPL is a good format, he agreed, but to excel in the hardest format of the game, it is test cricket. Now this was an indirect jibe at the players who did not want to play test cricket. And because of this, the writing was on the wall. Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan could not get the central contract. So Jai Shah's diktat, selectors unhappy with the wishy-washy way of how things were handled, Ishan ready for DY Patil but can't play for India, Shreyas Iyer, injury concerns, it's there, it's not there. Now poor form also in the test match arena resulted in these kind of situations. Now is there a way back? Well, a BCCI official told ESPN Cricinfo that after IPL, if they happen to get selected and fulfill the criteria of the number of matches required for a pro rata contract, they will be awarded a contract. So remember, if you are not in a central contract and you play a certain number of games, it's on a pro rata basis. The more you play, the more chances you get. And that is how you are elevated into the grade C, grade B, grade A plus. So pro rata basis now these guys will play for India, irrespective of the format. Now there is a certain criteria in place that you have to play these many number of games to ensure you get back into the central contract fold. Will Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Iyer do that? Now they have to do it. Because if they want to get back into the Indian cricket team, the rule is simple. Play for India as much as you can, devote your time to domestic cricket, you will get a contract. Otherwise, you will not get a contract. The BCCI is suddenly waking up now after 10 years of ensuring that domestic cricket was kept in the sidelines. Now under the new regime, Ajit Agarkar and all of them, they are ensuring that yes, this has to come back on track. We have to get them to ensure they play more of domestic cricket. And through that, if they are selected for India, they perform well, you will get back into the central contract system. So these are the reasons why Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan were denied a BCCI annual central contract. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well.